How to properly clean your bird's cage? I've got asked this question a lot, especially after the video about building my Budgie's aviary. So in this video, we will discuss how to clean your bird's cage, not only my aviary, but whatever cage or bird you have. We will divide the cleaning process into 3 parts. The first part, we will talk about daily sanitation. The second part, about the accessories you have for your bird, like toys and perches. And the third part, about the cage's floor. Starting with the first part, what are the things that need daily sanitation? And these things include the water bowls or dishes, and the seed and veggies or fruit bowls as well, which means anything food or drink related to your birds. It needs to be cleaned on a daily basis. The most important out of everything is the water bottles. And that's because water can be home for a lot of viruses and parasites, so it needs to be cleaned on a daily basis. The way you can clean it is by simply rinsing it with water and even use the normal soap. But when you use the soap, you need to make sure to rinse it thoroughly so no soap residue remains by accident and your birds drink it. Then comes the food bowls. These can be cleaned every other day as they are less dangerous, with the same method as you do your water dishes. Just remember, whenever you use soap, make sure it is completely gone before you put it back to your birds. Now after we've taken care of the food stuff, let's go to the second part, which is all the toys and accessories you have for your birds. These things don't need to be cleaned on a daily basis, and it varies depending on a lot of factors, like how many birds you have, how big of a cage you have, and how large are your birds. For example, the toys that they use most should be cleaned more often than other toys. The way you can clean these things, you can use apple cider vinegar. Mix it with water. You can mix it 50-50, vinegar with water, or 1/3 vinegar to 2/3 water. And clean their perches and toys, and actually you can use it to clean the cage itself, although it is safe, but the smell is too strong. So what I would advise you to do is to get your birds out of the cage you are cleaning and put them back in after the smell is gone. Or if you are just cleaning the toys, you can keep them one day away from your birds before putting them back in the cage. Vinegar is very powerful disinfectant and can kill a lot of the parasites that are on the toys and perches and branches of your birds. And finally, the last part, which is the cage's floor. Now some cages come with a draggable floor, where you can easily change. And some other cages you need to take off the top of the cage in order to clean the floor. Or if you use synthetic grass like me, you need to take it out of the cage in order to clean it and put it back in. So let's start with the normal cages, where you can drag the floor out. Then you can change the newspaper or whatever lining you have with a new one. Of course, depending on how many birds you have and the cage's size, you can clean their floor once a week or twice a month. If, in order to clean the floor, you need to take off the top of the cage, usually these cages are too small, and they should be cleaned more often. But if you have watched my video about what cage size you need to use to your birds, I wouldn't recommend you to use any of these cages in the first place. And finally, the grassy floor, or if you use some type of lining that is close to that. Here's what I do. I clean it every week with a vacuum cleaner, the sort that is used for the cars. And once a month I take it off from the cage. And replace it with a new one. And rinse it with water and soap. And make it dry in the sun. And when I need to change it again, I simply switch between them and repeat the process. For more about budgies, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are watching this video from YouTube and hit the bell icon to get notified when the next video is up. Or like the Facebook page if you are watching this video from Facebook.